first time and I'm extremely nervous. So I write in English and this is a prose poem sort of, and it's a love poem, but you'll get there. And it's a long one, so please keep up with me. It's called Letters from a Misanderess. So I hope everyone knows what a misandrist means. It's someone who's prejudiced against men or someone who doesn't like men. Well, I know this might trigger a lot of you, but let's just start with it. Letters from a misandrist. It's provocative, isn't it? Well, it's supposed to be. It's a wall built against the predictable fragility and the sheer noise of modern masculinity. I like to think of it as a shield, like a placard that I'm holding up, which says I'm done or I've had enough. And a major part of this is true. I could enlist a huge number of grievances, the kind I'm sure will be censured, a list that includes empty conversations, forced opinions, and casual dismissals. It's a strategy laid forth to make the disappointment redundant by simply refusing to expect anything good. A stoic case of, I'd rather be surprised than be disappointed. But there came a whirlwind of force that shattered the entire groundwork of my substructure, forcing me to round the sharp edges of my boxed-in mind. You. You are the sole reason this title is misleading, rage bait even, a lie. You are the reason I can't be trusted with opinions. Every word coming out of my mouth is labeled a lie. Every time I take a stand to make an acute commentary on the state of men, I have to set aside a whole tower for men like you. You are the glossy, enticing, thin ice that lures me to step on it even if I succumb to the cold. For someone who has always been commended for being opinionated, I'm now ridiculed for being mercurial. How dare you strip the overcoat of the so-called masculinity and shed off your layers and reveal years of wounding to me? And not in a swords clanking sort of a way, but the slow tapping of hushed footsteps. How dare you be so comfortable in your own discomfort? I spent years bottling up my female rage, forcing myself not to feel, because not feeling means shielded from getting hurt, from being vulnerable. I'd never thought I'd unveil myself to anyone, let alone a man. But God, you're a stretch of thin land in the vast ocean when I'm stranded in the frightening waters. How dare you remember the tiny, insignificant details I shared in a casual conversation and then use them 3 weeks later to make my life simpler? How dare you show up at my door with a warm meal after I told you I didn't have an appetite? How dare you take my luggage from me every single time without letting me ever raise a finger? And every time you did, you were demolishing a brick that had been laid on my cold heart. How dare you enlighten me on every single niche without ever making me feel unintelligent? And how dare you be brilliant enough to know about them? You are the only person whose brilliance I can marvel at without feeling the need to compete by simply sitting back and letting you have the thunder. How dare you make jokes that entail zero degradation of anyone else and a resounding capability to generate laughs? You gave me something dangerous, hope. When I talk about the men of the world, I'm generalizing based on the collective exhaustive performance. But when I look at you, I'm convinced I'm in an out-of-worldly experience because you are what I was conditioned to believe was fiction. You are the quiet space where my armor slips away. I'm unguarded, yet the safest I've ever been. And that's when I finally breathe. Truly, deeply, completely. There is a ferocity here that dismantles my entire cynical fortress. Every memory we've made is not just entrenched in my brain, it's the only true foundation I have left. This letter is a beautiful, necessary lie. The misandrist in me writes only to cope with the world, but the unguarded woman in love writes only to you. You've not just made the rest of the world bearable, you've made it worth the risk of being soft. Thank you.